Does it not seem to you, Watson, that English municipal architecture is one of the most depressing art forms known to man?
Judging from this building, Holmes, I would say you have a case.
I know what he means, and he's not wrong.
Shall we try to raise Lestrade, Watson?
Carry on, Holmes.
Good day, Constable. I must speak with Inspector Lestrade.
Sorry, sir. What with all the recent troubles, we've had to restrict access to the building. Authorized personnel only, I'm afraid.
But this is Mr. Sherlock Holmes, the famous consulting detective.
That's nothing to me, sir. No exceptions, please move on.
Ah, yes. Inspector Gregson informed us of recent changes in security procedures. But I assure you, Constable, he has given us permission to enter.
That's as may be, sir, but I takes my orders from Chief Inspector Palmer himself, and they are that no one is to pass without proper authorization. You understand, sir?
I do. It just seems like a couple of unnecessary extra steps, but never mind.
Hello, Augie. My compliments to you.
Very kind, Mr. Holmes. Nice to hear from you and Dr. Watson again. Is there perhaps something I can help you with?
I need to speak to Inspector Lestrade, and the constable won't allow me access to the building.
Real sticklers for the regulations, the yard boys are, Mr. Holmes. Sorry, I can't help you with that one.
I like the description of an apparently blind vendor. This will come up very shortly.
Hello, Augie. In the pink and so on?
Oh, indeed, Mr. Holmes. Lovely spot of autumn weather we're having.
Okay, let's go back and find Gregson.
Oh, it's you, Holmes.
I regret to inform you, Inspector, that your name alone is insufficient for purposes of circumventing the yard security procedures.
What? Well, of all the incompetence. Come along, Holmes. We'll get this sorted immediately. Well, come along, Mr. Holmes. You too, Dr. Watson. I need some papers from the yard anyway. We'll get you into see Lestrade, and then I will return here. This should only take a moment, Holmes. What seems to be the problem here, Constable?
No problem, sir. Truth is, it's been pretty quiet.
Quiet, eh? Oh. Well, if you'd like to keep it that way, Constable, then I suggest you allow Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson to enter immediately.
But, sir, my orders are...
I'm well aware of your orders, Constable. Allow them entrance on my authority. I'll assume responsibility for Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Very well, sir. Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, you may consider yourself authorized personnel. You may enter whenever you wish.
Much obliged, Constable. And thank you, Inspector.
Think nothing of it, Holmes. We live to serve. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some matters to attend to.
Thank you, Gregson.
Good day, Constable.
It is indeed, Mr. Holmes.
Good day, Sergeant Duncan. I wish to speak to Inspector Lestrade.
So would half the lads in Dartmoor prison, Mr. Holmes. He's terrible busy at the moment, what with all this Ripper business. He left word not to be disturbed. Perhaps I can take a message.
I need to speak with him myself.
I dare not disturb him, Mr. Holmes. He left orders, special-like.
I need to speak with one of the prisoners being held at Bow Street Police Court.
I can take care of that for you, Mr. Holmes. Show this to the guard stationed there, and you should have no trouble at all.
Thank you, Sergeant.
This part of the game, there is no real stranger to a lot of other adventure games where there's a bit of going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's to be expected with adventure games these days. Well, I say these days, this game's 26 years old now.
There are certain crimes which are better left to established police procedure, Watson.
I assume you're referring to the mountain of paperwork these men are generating, Holmes.
I am indeed. Well, Watson, we could stand here waiting for our hair to turn grey before the inspector gets a free moment. Do you have a suggestion?
Well, didn't I notice your friend the apple seller just outside? He knows the Byzantine workings of the yard like the back of his hand, or so you've told me.
Yep, let's go and speak to Augie.
Hello, Augie. I need your advice on the matter concerning Scotland Yard.
Oh, Mr. Holmes. And, Dr. Watson? What can I do for you?
I can't get Sergeant Duncan to fetch Lestrade for me. Do you have a suggestion?
I just might be able to help her, if the price were right.
I'm not in the habit of paying your exorbitant prices, Augie.
Well, we seem to be at an impasse.
What do you say, Watson? Shall I grass on Augie?
Why not, Holmes?
Augie, tell me about Sergeant Duncan, or I'll expose your little game to the police.
Whatever are you on about, Mr. Holmes?
You're not blind, Augie. You're shamming for sympathy. Does marvels for your business, I shouldn't wonder. I've seen the way your eyes move behind your glasses, and the way you arrange your apples on the cart unblemished, side out. Requires sight. You never feel for the size of a coin or bite it to test its metal. You hawk your wares more loudly when a well-dressed couple walks past, and not at all when a beggar rambles by. I've seen you accurately box the ears of a stealthy street urchin trying to steal an apple. And just a moment ago you addressed a greeting to Dr. Watson. There's no way you could have known he was here.
Oh, enough, Mr. Holmes. Let's just keep this amongst ourselves, shall we? Live and let live, eh? I'll tell you this about Duncan. The way to that brute's art is through a compliment. The man's a fool for flattery. Susceptible as a child to a kind word, he is.
Thank you, Augie. Good day, Sergeant Duncan. Is the inspector available?
He's still drowning in paperwork, Mr. Holmes. You could leave a message if you wish.
Well, I know we have to be nice, but this is going a bit over the top. But if it works, it works.
Thank you. I'm sure an officer as distinguished as yourself, and a winner of the VC on top of it, knows when to supersede such an order on his own authority.
Perhaps I could get him down here for just a moment. Inspector Lestrade, please report to the duty officer's desk immediately.
What is it, Duncan? This had better be important.
It is, Inspector. Here's Mr. Holmes to see you.
Hello, Inspector. I'm glad we found you in. I would like you to release some items from the Caraway murder investigation.
What do you mean by some items?
I would like to examine some of Sarah Caraway's personal effects which you sent to the morgue. If you don't mind, I'll take some of them to further my own investigation.
Sarah Caraway? Oh, you mean the Ripper's latest victim. That's an open and shut case as far as I'm concerned. But I know your methods by now, and I'm sure you won't be satisfied till you've beaten this case into the ground. Sergeant Duncan will write you a pass that you can give to the medical examiner at the morgue. If he's finished with the woman's effects, they're yours.
Thank you, Inspector. Hello again, Inspector.
Hello, Holmes.
Really? Wow. That's brilliant.
Inspector Lestrade has authorized my request to examine the Caraway woman's effects at the morgue. May I have the pass, please?
I heard him, Mr. Holmes. I have it right here.
Good day, Sergeant.
Good day, Mr. Holmes.
It's nice to be polite sometimes. Let's get back to the morgue. There is one other body here, which I missed out the first time around. It's just going to be another case of pixelated gore, which I will leave for now.
I have acquired permission from Inspector Lestrade to remove some of Miss Caraway's personal effects for my investigation. May I please view them again?
Of course, Mr. Holmes. May I see the authorization?
Naturally. Here it is.
Very good, Mr. Holmes.
Well, we could actually take every item here, but we only need the key.
I'm not quite finished with some of these items, Mr. Holmes, so I'll need to keep them here for a while. You may view them again whenever you like.
Okay, let's return to Ali for, I believe, one last time. Whoever's driving us around in this episode is making a lot of money.
What? Who's there? Ah, it's you, Mr. Holmes.
What can I do for you?
Sorry, did we wake you up?
Have you recalled any details that might assist my investigation?
I think I told you everything I know.
There's only one thing that we need from here, and that is in this chest of drawers. Anyway, if Carruthers was in here, why did we need the key? Unless he was that far gone with sleep. And if he's here and staring at us, then surely we shouldn't be allowed to do this, but never mind. All we need from these drawers is in the top drawer.
Look, Watson, a pair of season tickets to the opera. It would seem that Miss Cattaway's interest in the arts extended beyond the confines of theatre. Very commendable.
I say, Holmes, even though opera tickets are almost impossible to obtain at any price, I shouldn't like to have the seats of this poor dead woman.
There's no point in putting them back, as they will help with our investigation. Plus, as well, we need some perks of doing this job.
I understand your reluctance, Watson, but these tickets might very well provide the lead we need to further our investigation. Excuse me, Mr. Carruthers, do you know anything about these opera tickets?
Unless I miss my guess, Mr. Holmes. Those are tickets to the Chancery Opera House. Sarah never missed an opportunity to hear her sister sing.
You mean Miss Cattaway's sister is here, in London?
Oh, just so, Doctor. She sings all the female leads. Very good, I'm told. I would have thought that you knew about her.
It is sufficient that we know now. Thank you, Mr. Carruthers. May we take these tickets?
Of course, Mr. Holmes. I shouldn't think Inspector Lestrade has any use for him. He never even asked me about Anna.
I think this is the first time we've heard about her. Okay, let's go straight to the Opera House. We have known about other locations for a lot longer, but we have stronger leads right now.
I beg your pardon, what show is playing this evening?
It's called From On High. Mr. Epstein says it's the most popular show of the season. Yeah, all the critics love it.
Oh, really?
We'd like to buy some tickets, if we may.
Sorry, sir, but the show is fully subscribed. The theatre's completely sold out for the next 3 weeks. Even standing room is gone.
Oh, that's a shame.
Good evening, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Scotland Yard in a sensitive investigation. May I have a moment of your time?
Certainly, Mr. Holmes. I'm Frederick Epstein, General Manager of the Chancery Opera House.
Have you ever met Miss Sarah Cattaway? She is the sister of Anna Cattaway.
Yes, I met her once about a year ago. And I've seen her here a few times since then. We are not well acquainted. I believe Anna gave her season's pass to one of our best box seats. But I haven't seen her today.
That might be because she's dead.
Where might I find Miss Anna Cattaway?
Regrettably, she's bedridden with a sore throat this evening. Her understudy will perform competently enough, I suppose, but I'll be happier when the divine Anna returns.
Do you know where Miss Anna lives?
Actually, I don't, yet. She's recently moved, and I've not given myself the pleasure of leaving my card at her new home. She informed me of her illness by telegram.
It'll be difficult to visit her at home, I think, if you don't know her address.
Indeed. I'm sure she will offer that information at her earliest convenience.
Alright, to be fair with Frederick, he doesn't know that Sarah is dead, and it's a bit unusual someone telegraphing in they're ill. Maybe someone telegraphed on her behalf, or to cover something? I guess we'll find out soon.
May we see her dressing room?
I'm afraid that's quite out of the question. Visitors and guests are not permitted access to the performer's private rooms.
Box seats, sirs. Very good, sirs. Please show them to the balcony usher and he'll direct you to your places.
Are you familiar with all the people who hold season tickets for this theatre?
Many of our patrons reserve seats for the entire season. Well, I couldn't begin to list them, sir.
Have we missed much of the show?
It's just about to start now. If you hurry up, you'll see the opening flourish.
Where are these seats?
May I see your ticket, sir? Beautiful box seats, gentlemen. Up the stairs and turn right, you can't miss them.
Excuse me, gentlemen, but you must have the wrong box. These seats are occupied. The usher downstairs can direct you to your places.
They don't look very occupied. There's 2 spare seats here.
Please see the balcony usher for directions to your seats, gentlemen. The show will be starting soon. Please see the balcony usher for directions to your seats, gentlemen. The show will be starting soon.
Okay, apologies for that. I thought there would be other dialogue. I guess we'll have to do this instead.
These are Sarah Carraway's tickets. How did you come by them, if I may ask?
You knew Miss Carraway then?
Knew her? I'm Mrs. Worthington, and I own the Chancery Opera House. As I share this box with Sarah, I know her, of course. And who might you be?
This is Mr. Sherlock Holmes, and I am Dr. John Watson.
Mrs. Worthington, I'm sorry to inform you that Sarah Carraway is dead. We're assisting the police in an official investigation.
Oh, how dreadful. Such a lovely girl. Was there an accident? Was there...
Please compose yourself, madam. There was no accident. She was
investigating her death? You don't mean to say she was murdered?
I'm afraid that is true.
Is there anything you can tell me about Sarah?
She was a pleasant young woman, though we only shared small talk. It is sad how little any of us knows about those around us, and now she's gone. She liked nothing better than to see her sister sing. They were very close. In fact, Anna recently gave her a pendant, and Sarah cherished it so. She told me that she never took it off.
I believe we only have one option here to choose from. A description probably would be better.
What did this pendant look like?
It was a large ivory oval attached to a heavy chain. A bird of some sort had been etched in the ivory. Distinctly oriental it was, very lovely, but perhaps a bit grand for every day. She wore it under her blouse, I believe. She told me that James, her young man, despised it, but she was very proud of it.
I'd like to think that she gave that response to every question, but something tells me I chose the right option.
We need to speak with Anna Carraway. Do you know where she lives?
No, I love her voice, but I know nothing of her personal life. Perhaps Mr. Epstein, our manager, can help you.
Is there anything you can think of that might help us in our investigation?
I can't think of anything, but if I do, I will inform the police. Oh, I hope you find whoever did this awful thing and bring them to justice. Now, please excuse me. Life goes on and the show is starting.
Wow, she got over that quickly.
Welcome to our presentation of From On High. Regrettably, our female lead, the divine Miss Anna Carraway, is ill. Miss Angela Ferrati will be singing in her stead. Please join me in wishing Miss Carraway a speedy recovery. We hope that you will enjoy the show.
Oh, how unfortunate for Anna. Miss Ferrati, however, is a fine singer in her own right. I hired her myself. She will not disappoint.
We need to see inside Anna Carraway's dressing room. Would you be so kind as to secure Mr. Epstein's consent to inspect those premises?
Of course. Here, I'll write you a note to give to him.
Okay, I'll leave it here for now. Enjoy the show.